not stop, ever, until you are dead.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to DDLive number 70. Can you believe we've done 70 of these goddamn things? That's crazy. 70. DDLive number 70. Jesus. How are all my beautiful people in the house doing today, tonight, late afternoon? Are we in late afternoon? I think we're approaching. Is it? Let's see. Dusk, dawn. Dawn? Is that? No, dawn's in the morning though, right? So dusk. We're approaching dusk. That's it. Jesus. Man, I missed you guys. How in the hell are you guys doing? Maverick Media, Elix Flicks, Rosemary, Destiny, Taffer, Gory Tiger, Devrick Grant, highly love Drumdums and all your movie reviews. Thank you so much. Brandon the Beldam, what's up? Brandon didn't like Christmas Bloody Christmas. We're going to get to that. Oh my God, we're going to get to that. Can you guys hear me? Rosemary, how are you doing? Erica Bro, Jesse, he's back. He's the man behind the mask. Kevin, how are you doing? Brian Swayze, are you related to Patrick? I hope that you are. Thomas Jones, Scott Lauderdale, what's up, Scott? Danny, man, I'm seeing a lot of you guys roll in here. Brock Savage, Aaron Click, God damn it. Let me turn off my music. Maverick says you guys can hear me. That's great. Let me close this off. Hold on. I tell you guys, how are you guys doing? Are you guys ready for Christmas? Deadhead, what's up, man? How you doing, Angel? Are you guys ready for Christmas? I guess I am. I've been watching some, especially over like the last few days. I've been watching some Christmas movies. It's been nice. But no, well, I guess I'm going bald a little bit. You know what? I have more hair than I should have. Okay. Let's say that. One guy in the comments literally said, hey, lay off the hair dye. Guys, I'm here to tell you, I have never once dyed my hair. Not once, okay? And you know what? Look, you can see the gray in the beard, right? You can see the gray in the beard. And you can't really see it there, but I definitely have some gray like above the ears. Yeah. It's hard to see, the camera is kind. The camera is way too kind to me, okay? If you saw me in person, you'd be like, oh, he's got a lot more gray than I thought. All right? Yeah. Mad Mars, you're awesome, though. You're awesome. You know what? Bald people are cool as fuck, too. My favorite freaking band, Tool, has a bald lead singer, okay? Maynard. Maynard's cooler than all of us, all right? So I don't discriminate. You know, if we're, we're given the gifts that we have, and we all have different gifts, right? And we just, we take what we can, right? I call mine chrome, not gray. There you go. I like Silver Fox myself, and I think if you're in my age, if you're over 40, then you is that right, guys? Can you be a card-carrying Silver Fox member? I think so. Rosalia loves Tool. That's good. Yeah, Tool's awesome. I could talk. That's the thing, guys. If I could get away with it, I would talk music with you guys for like 2 hours, just because I love talking. And I get jealous because I see a lot of these like music channels, and I'm like, damn, why didn't way back, in 2015, what if I would have went that route? Because I love music just as much as I do movies. And I could have went, and I call myself Drumdums because I'm a drummer. Mad Mars, we're going to be talking about Pantera. Matter of fact, should we start by talking about Pantera? Maybe we'll do that. But Yeah, guys, music is my life. Music is my life. What's up, Omni? How are you doing? Yeah, we're gonna talk Scream. We're gonna talk. Oh, guys, let me tell you this, okay? I'm starting a new series. This will only be on my DDLives, my live streams. It's called 10 Movies. Because it seems like every time I do like any kind of list or countdown on my live streams, we always end up having a good time with each other. And I like it when it's more interactive. So I'm going to start a series called 10 Movies. And the first one is going to be Christmas horror because we're in December. You kind of have to, right? But you know, that could entail anything. It might be 10 completely random movies that have nothing to do with each other. That, you know, I want to pull off my shelf. I want to talk about this movie. I'll give you an example. Okay, I'll give you an example. All right, here we go. 10 movies. I could say, let's talk about X-Ray, Hospital Massacre. We could talk about double features. If I had like 10 double feature discs, Blu-rays, I could pull them all out and we could talk about them. Destiny says, have you done a video about movies that have to deal with music bands? No, but that's a great idea actually, because guys, Destiny brings up a good point. We're gonna bullshit. Fuck it. Hey Brooke, how you doing? Guys, give me your favorite music biopic, because I want to hear what you guys say. Because there's so many really good music biopics. Tell me your favorite music biopic, okay? And I guarantee you, and I'm not trying to be edgy and I'm not trying to be cool, I'm just being honest, all right? I guarantee you, most, if not all of you, will not even think, and probably haven't even seen mine, okay? So, I'm talking about a movie. I'm not talking about a documentary, okay? I'm talking about a movie, all right? So, Shelby says Elvis. Hey, Shelby, how are you doing? Ray, both those are really good. I like both those. Spinal Tap is classic. Oh my God. Lords of Chaos, woo, that's a fucking movie right there. Whew. You know what? I like Lords of Chaos because it's got balls. It might not be historically accurate because, you know, I'm not like a mayhem enthusiast. You know, I don't know them back and front. And when I reviewed that movie, I had people coming after me with pitchforks because somehow they thought that I thought that everything in that movie was verse in scripture. And no, I'm just talking about the movie, the filmmaking, you know, how it kept me interested, which it did. And as a biopic, and a biopic doesn't have to be 100% historically accurate. It doesn't have to be. All right. So that's a good one, though. The Doors is a really good one. Really good one. Guys, and I'm going to get some crap on this one, okay? But I think the last few years with biopics, they've kind of stuck to a template. And I think maybe it started with Walk the Line. And I don't know. I like a biopic that changed, like The Doors. The Doors is a great biopic because it bounces around. It doesn't necessarily go in chronological order, you know? So I guess it's a little bit more unpredictable. But whereas like a lot of these newer biopics, they've all been kind of, for lack of a better phrase, playing it safe, you know, and even kind of watered down. Like the Queen one, I like Bohemian Rhapsody. I don't love it. I like it, but I think there's a lot more to that story that they could have told. Okay, a lot more to that story that they could have told. You know, but you know, it all comes down to the editing, the directing, all that stuff. The Runaways is really good. I like that one. Okay. So, my favorite, I think there's a couple of them, all right? My favorite, definitely Control. Oh my God, Aaron, you just teed it right up. Oh my God, you just teed it right up. Lee, have you seen Control? Yes. Control happens to be my favorite all-time biopic. The Ian Curtis, Joy Division story, guys. And this is an example of a great biopic. If you've never heard of the band, or if you've never been just a big fan of Joy Division, you will still love this biopic. That's the clue that it's a great biopic. You don't necessarily have to like the band, you know? And I'm telling you. Hey, Ashley, how are you doing? Nice to see you. Guys, run, don't walk. Pick up Freaking Control. It's in black and white too. The movie's in black and white. It came out in 2007. Pick up Control as fast as you can. It's so good. Sam Riley plays Ian Curtis, and man, Ian Curtis had a very unique posture. Do I need to? Oh my God, hold on. I'm gonna play you one of my favorite songs right now. You know, I'm gonna play you one of my favorite songs. Hold on, just a second. And I'm telling you, some of you are gonna think this is weird, all right? Because Joy Division does have some. They're just very unique. Okay, hold on. Okay. Teeing this song up. This is called 24 Hours. Everybody get ready to rock. Isn't that badass? Oh my God. His voice, I tell you, Ian Curtis's voice is haunting. That's the word for it. It's just so haunting. It sounds like a song that you would be good to sit in a garage and smoke to. Exactly. That's it. You just nailed it, Destiny. That's exactly what you would do to that song. You would light up a cigarette, you would sit in your garage, and you would smoke. That's what you would do. Man, what a song. What a freaking song. I went down a Joy Division rabbit hole probably about a decade ago. And they're one of those bands that you can get lost in. Their music is pretty depressing. If you know the story of Ian Curtis, they only did 2 full albums, like full studio albums. And then there was some like other stuff that came out after. But man, that guy could write. He was a poet. He definitely was a poet, but he was tortured, and it was a mixture of things, his family life, his relationship, his epilepsy, all these things. So yeah, man, Ian Curtis, Joy Division, the James O'Barr, the writer of The Crow, his favorite band was Joy Division. He even modeled Eric Draven's face in the graphic novel after Ian Curtis. So yeah, great stuff. The Cure. Oh my God, I love The Cure. That's what we need, Rosalia. We need a Cure biopic. Am I right? What are you guys drinking? I got a Monster. I've been drinking these little ones, thinking I'm doing better when I'm not. I just drink more of them. And I got my Gatorade, and I got my high quality H2O. So, but yeah, I was talking about 10 movies. I'm really excited for this series because I showed you this, and I said I could do double features. But what else could I do, guys? What else could I do with that? I could base. I could do Shout Factory. I could do 10 movies. Like, I could pick my favorite Shout Factory. Here we go. Hold on. This is going to be fun, guys. I'm telling you, it's going to be fun. We could do Shout Factory and talk about, 10 random Shout Factory movies like Carrie. Guys, look at that. Look at that fucking cover. Oh, my God. Isn't that beautiful? Man, Shout Factory, they put out, I don't know who does the art for them, but wow. Man, this is just amazing. Maybe I'll do that next. I don't know. Yeah, but also I could do Canon Films if I'm going off of this, because these are both Canon movies. So, there's a lot that I could spring off of from just this Blu-ray here alone. I could do Canon Film, 10 Canon Films that I love, 10 to midnight. Oh my God. Hey, any of you guys like Canon Films? I do. And they got a bad rap in the 80s. Every critic completely ripped every Canon film to smithereens. All right. But I knew better. I knew better even back then. I was like, what are they talking about? This stuff's fun. This stuff's awesome. Idiots. Idiots. And now I'm a critic. But I'm going to change things up. I'm going to change the game. That's what I did. As soon as I became a critic, I went on to Rotten Tomatoes and I looked up Halloween 6. Halloween. I'm going to change the game up. Halloween 6. And I gave it a fresh. I made it fresh is what I did. Hell yeah. Changing the game, guys. Right? What else could we talk about? We could talk about movies like that. Like Pieces. We could do Grindhouse. Would you guys give me a genre? What would you consider Pieces? All right, and you can't say slasher, all right, because that's too easy. Give me a subgenre for Pieces. All right. Mad Mars says Canon was gonna do a horror version of Spider-Man. What? That would have been cool. God, look at that, guys. Whew. This actually comes with the CD, the score on CD. Really cool. Yeah. Oh man, what was I saying? I got a lot to get to, and it takes me forever to get to it. Right? That's the frustrating thing about DDLives. Okay, just because I like bullshitting with you guys. What have you guys? What's the funnest thing you did this week? Okay, what's the funnest thing you did this week? Let me know. Did you do anything like out of the ordinary, that like crazy this week? I want to know more about you. Okay, I'm sick of me. I want to know about you. All right. Alex says Jallo, of course. Based on your shirt, I would recommend Stephen King adaptations. Brock, very good, very good. Exploitation would be a great answer. Mega Cat, what's up? I rode a horse. You know what? I haven't ridden. Would that be ridden? I haven't ridden a horse. I don't even think I've ever ridden a full-size horse. I've ridden a pony. I know that when I was a kid, but I think Pieces is kind of Jello, Polly. I definitely classify Pieces as Jello. I do. Because Jack Powell in Killer Flicks, he just got into Giallo films, and he's already watched like eight of them now. And you can tell he's bitten by the Giallo bug. And one of the Kate Humphreys, she corrected, and she was like, just so you know, not all Giallos are Italian horror. Okay, it doesn't have to be Italian horror to be classified as a Giallo. And Pieces is not an Italian. I believe it's Spain. I think that movie came out of Spain. Yeah, but it's definitely a Giallo film for sure. Yeah. Oh, guys, I upgraded my studio. Just a light upgrade, because I did a commentary with Michael Trapson and his girlfriend Bailey, and I had to lug my big TV in here, and I put it on top of a floor tom with a freaking big old cabinet, and I was like, you know what? I'm so sick of this. So, it's just taxing. It's taxing. It's a lot of work to grab a 47-inch TV, walk it in here, put it on there, get the DVD player, hook that up, make sure all the wiring's correct. Just everything. It's crazy. And so what I did was like, you know what? Enough. What I'm going to do is, have you guys ever used Facebook Marketplace? I was like, you know what? I need a smaller, for my studio, I need a 32-inch. A light 32-inch TV would be great. Would be great. And so I went on Facebook Marketplace. I typed up 32-inch TV, and sure enough, just a whole bunch of choices came up. And within a couple hours, I had a 32-inch TV sitting in my house. It was that easy. And guys, I paid $40. Always make sure you try to talk them down, because they wanted $60 for it, and I talked them down to $40. And they didn't even hesitate. They were like, "Yep, sold to the man with the platoon haircut." Somebody tell me what that's from. All right, so I'll show you a picture if you want. Let me say, hold on. Just ignore that. I had to slide over to the Funnies real quick. We'll do Funnies at the end. Remember Destiny last time I did Funnies at the beginning and it took up like 2 hours of the stream? So I learned my lesson on that one. And that was my face after doing 2 hours of Funnies. Okay. Let me get rid of that. Hold on. Okay. So, new TV. Here you go. So there it is. I'm pointing at it right now. It's right there. Okay. But yeah, you can see the floor tom. I kind of left the floor tom in there because it's a nice touch. Don't you think it's a nice touch, guys? What's up, Charlotte? How you doing? Funniest thing I did this week was Violent Night during my baby free time. Loved it. We're going to be talking about Violent Night, Charlotte. Don't you worry. And guys, how I classify this as far as like, what would be Christmas horror? And also, it's hard to find a lot of really great Christmas horror movies. So I think when you can mix in, if there's blood, that's the way I classify it. I'm a little bit more lenient with Christmas horror than I am with general horror. Like if I'm not in the Christmas lane, aisle 12, then I say no, that's not horror. Just because because any action movie has blood, okay? But for Christmas, I kind of like to give you a few more options. So if there's an ample amount of blood in the Christmas movie, then I'll go ahead and call it horror. Even though it's probably not, and you'll tell me, no, that's not horror. Like technically, and I'm going to tell you right now, Die Hard's not on this list, okay? Is Die Hard a Christmas movie? Absolutely it is. Absolutely it is. There's no question, all right? I think that's a scientific fact. But I didn't put it on this list because I have a lot of really, really great Christmas horror movies, Whereas Die Hard would be soft. It's not even really horror, if I'm being honest. But it's got a lot of blood in it, okay? And if Die Hard was on this list, though, it'd probably be it'd be in the top 3 for sure, okay? But just so you guys know, Die Hard is not on this list, all right? But there is another one that was, if you're paying attention, that I just mentioned earlier that somebody brought up, Charlotte I think brought up, Violent Night. Because it's new, I might have put it on the list. Okay? But we'll get there. Do I want to open up my monster yet? Do we want to get into the Scream news, guys? Damn, 30 minutes already? Jesus. Well, we always take 30 minutes to bullshit, right, guys? That's what we do. We bullshit for 30 minutes. Let me go over here and make sure my... I didn't even talk... You know what? Let's talk about this first. All right? If we got to go over a little bit, we'll go over, okay? That's okay. I got things I want to talk about with you guys. All right? You're going to have to deal with it. All right. Did you guys hear about this? The Jennifer Lawrence thing? And I jumped on her too. Just in my head, I don't know I might have mentioned something. I might have responded to something on Twitter. I think I said like, what the fuck is she thinking? Or something like that, It came out wrong. Okay, so let me back up. If you don't know what happened, Jennifer Lawrence was doing an interview. Guys, what's the actress that she was doing an interview with? The two of them were having a conversation. She was in The Woman King, and she's also in the DC movies. Help me out, guys. I forgot, okay? But, yeah, they're having a conversation, and Jennifer Lawrence basically stated... Viola Davis, thank you very much, Rosemary. Thank you very much. I definitely wanted to get... Viola Davis is a phenomenal actress. So is Jennifer Lawrence, okay? So is Jennifer Lawrence. They're both phenomenal actresses, all right? But here's what happened. Jennifer Lawrence was talking, and she put her foot in her mouth. She said that Katniss from The Hunger Games was the very first lead action hero in a movie. I'm paraphrasing, of course, but I know that lead action star was somewhere in there, okay? And first. They had never done that before. And I was like, celebrities say a lot of stupid shit, but this was just like another level, not a new level. Pantera, we'll get to Pantera in a minute. But this, whoa. Did you just say that? And my knee-jerk reaction was, I was confused, a little angry, and like, what? And I shouldn't be angry, okay? We'll get there, okay? But I just couldn't believe that she would say something like that. And I think maybe she was nervous, because sometimes when you're nervous, stuff comes out of your mouth and you just have no control over it, okay? So, one, I guess, did she believe what she was saying? Did she believe what she was saying? She can't, right? There's no way she could have believed what she was saying. So I think the sentence came out wrong. But if she did believe what she was saying, then that tells me it could be a generational thing, because, guys, and a lot of you are of this age, all right? I'm not picking on anybody. I'm just saying it's a generational thing. I've talked to a lot of younger people in their 20s-ish, maybe even early 30s, that they don't venture too far. They don't venture back into like 80s and 70s, and further back. We all only go so far back, right, with movies. And there's a lot of actors that don't really watch their own movies, but they don't watch a lot of movies, because I've seen interviews with actors, seasoned actors, that'll state that, like, give you an example. Malcolm McDowell had never seen the original Halloween, and the original Halloween's like one of the biggest horror movies of all time. That doesn't mean Malcolm McDowell saw it. And I think it's when you're in the field of acting, and when that's your world, that's your work, you kind of want to step away from it when you're off of work, meaning that you don't want to watch movies. Like, I guarantee you, some actors, the last thing they want to do is watch a movie after they're done with their day, because that's all they do. That's it every day. So in a way, I guess I'm kind of defending Jennifer Lawrence in that maybe she thought, maybe somebody told her even that, hey, you're making a groundbreaking move right now. You're the first of something. Maybe she took what somebody else said to her. Surely she knows about Ripley. Okay, I mean, how could you not know about Ripley? All right. So, you know what? I try to give people the benefit of the doubt. I've said stupid shit in my lifetime too. I think we all have. But when you are saying it in the public eye, and then there's a such thing as social media and the Twitter mob. And that is such a thing, guys. There is a Twitter mob. And boy, they just freaking unload on you. They unload on you like crazy. So, I guess I'm just talking about it as from more of an observational approach. My opinion is, yeah, it's a stupid thing to say, but I'm not going to beat the girl up, So, we could read a little bit of this. Hold on. Because this is a follow-up. I guess she backtracked a little bit. Let's see. Jennifer Lawrence is clarifying her recent claim that she was the first ever woman to be cast in a lead of an action movie. Despite the likes of Sigourney Weaver and Angelina Jolie, and I mean at least a dozen, 20 other lead actresses heading franchises long before her. In a statement to The Hollywood Reporter, the Academy Award winner said her remark came out wrong, and that meant to express how good it feels to be a feminine force in a male-dominated genre. That's certainly not what I meant to say at all. I know that I am not the only woman who ever led an action film, began Jennifer, who famously played female protagonist Katniss. Let me go down here. What I meant to emphasize was how good it feels. And I meant that with Viola Davis, to blow past these old myths that you hear about the chatter that you would hear around that kind of thing. But it was my blunder, and it came out wrong. I had nerves talking to a living legend, Jennifer concluded. So she backtracks. She admitted that it came out wrong. So I'll cut the girl some slack. It's not like I'm never going to watch Jennifer Lawrence movies again. There were some people on Twitter that were being a little bit too harsh. And I guess the bottom line is we've all said stupid shit. Okay, we just didn't have the world listening to it. you know. So I guess think of it that way. It gave a lot of us something to talk about, right? Like it's one of those, like, did you really think that? You know, like it's one of those, it's like that's an obvious thing. Like, how could you even think that? So maybe the phrase came out, maybe she thinks she's the first of something, but not the first action star ever. Even, by the way, guys, she's not the first of anything with the character of Katniss. If she is, prove me wrong, let me know, but I don't think that Katniss is the first of anything at all, okay? And I don't really care for those movies. If you like Hunger Games, that's awesome. You know, I don't hate them, but they're just not my thing, you know? Okay. Gotta talk about Pantera, okay? Gotta talk about Pantera. I guess my backstory with Pantera is I'm a metalhead, of course. Of course, I am a Pantera fan. Am I a Pantera fanatic? No, I've never been a Pantera fanatic. And I'm the type of music fan, too, where I'll go back and I'll get, like Joy Division, I'll get into things way after its prime. And I kind of did that with Pantera, especially after Dimebag passed away. Like, of course, I listened to Pantera when Dimebag was alive, you know. But it was just kind of a casual type of thing. Like, I never bought any Pantera albums at the time. But, man, I definitely acknowledge the talent. I appreciate Pantera a lot more now after he passed away because I went back and I did listen to a lot of their music. And he is definitely a groundbreaking guitar player. I know they were both really big Kiss fans too. Like, they were both buried in Kiss caskets. And, you know, people always give Vinnie Vincent, rightfully so, a lot of crap. Vinnie Vincent was Kiss's guitarist for a little bit of Creatures of the Night. He like played on like half of that album, I think, and then Lick It Up. He was on the entire album of Lick It Up. And then he had his own solo career, Vinnie Vincent Invasion. And the reason I mentioned Vinnie Vincent is because his guitar, very similar to Dimebag's guitar. I don't think it's, and I'm not a guitar aficionado, but I believe his guitar was similar to Dimebag's. But I believe Dimebag's style of playing is a little similar to Vinnie Vincent's. I think he has a much more control, Dimebag, over his playing than Vinnie Vincent did. Vinnie Vincent could really get carried away. Vinnie Vincent was so talented with the guitar that it was almost like too easy for him. And so he couldn't really hone it in as much as he should. And that was part of his downfall, was a lot of people that he worked with, including members of Kiss, including, you know, Vinnie Vincent Invasion. Mark Slaughter was the lead singer of that band. They hated working with the guy because he would just ball hog. You know, when he would play, he'd always have to have like an extra long solo. One time, Paul Stanley and Gene Simmons, they pulled the plug on him because he was just going on too long. So I'm a huge Vinnie Vincent fan, though. Those are like two of my favorite Kiss albums. The talent is undeniable. Okay, I've always loved his style of playing, and as soon as I heard Pantera, it does have a little bit of that vibe of Vinnie Vincent's guitar vibe in it. And Dimebag, man, he just had these really heavy, chunky riffs, but he was just much more constrained, you know, and he was more song focused, you know. He would do solos and stuff like that, of course, but he really kind of dressed his guitar work around the song. You know, it was more focused on the song than him showboating. Dimebag was never a showboat, you know? And I think that's one reason why people loved the guy so much and still love him. Taking a drink. Hold on. Okay, so the next thing about Pantera was when they broke up because Phil Anselmo left. He was having chronic back pain, and they just had a big falling out, really. He wouldn't show up, I think, to he wouldn't return phone calls. He wouldn't show up to rehearsals. And eventually they just gave up. Dimebag and Vinny, they just gave up on him, and it was a nasty falling out, and they were never able to bring it back around, sadly. And it wasn't even a thing like it was amicable. There was hostility still looming in the air by the time Vinny died. And Vinny even stated, you can find a YouTube short of him stating that I lost my train of thought. A little short of him stating that there will never be a Pantera reunion. Ever. There will never, ever, ever be a Pantera reunion. Okay? And like Erica said, it was just very sad, because a band with that much talent to never do it. Oh my God. Destiny Lee, did you post your Spotify Wrapped? Destiny, I'm not sure what you're talking about there. Wrapped. You'll have to let me know. But yeah. So anyway, Vinnie Paul passes away, and then Phil Anselmo and Rex, they decide let's get Zakk Wylde and the drummer from Anthrax. Guys, what's his name? I always forget. And I love Anthrax. I can't believe I can't remember his name. He's a great drummer, but he's paying ultimate respect to Vinnie Paul too in his playing. But the four of them got together and they did a show. They've done, I think, 2 shows now. The first one was in Mexico. End of year summer. I haven't posted that yet for Spotify. I need to do that. Thank you. It should be on your Spotify. When you go into the app, it tells you your top artists and songs in your past year and how long you've spent listening to. I'll definitely check that out. Thank you, Destiny. So, now here's the big question. There's definitely some anger, some controversy in the air, because in a lot of people's minds, Vinny and Dimebag would not want this. Or would they? Who knows? I mean, I don't think they would have wanted to be a part of it, at least at this point. And look, guys, we all think stuff in our minds that we don't dare say out loud because of pride, because we're not sure that we even think it, at the time. I don't know. So could Vinny have maybe thought in his mind, you know what? At the end of the day, it would be nice if Phil and I got into a room and talked. I bet that thought was in his head. Was he ready to tell it to the public? No, I don't think he was. Okay? Because it does feel good to forgive. Forgiving is like one of the greatest feelings ever, It takes a load off your chest. And I think he probably would have liked that. So there's another notion here too, okay? And this goes with movies, this goes with music. And you might disagree with this, but once a movie is thrust onto the public, once music... Hey, Beth, how are you doing? Once music is thrust onto the public, it doesn't belong to the artist anymore. It belongs to the public. It's ours now, okay? And so I think, monetarily it belongs to the artist, all right? Okay, I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying in the zeitgeist, it belongs to the audience, and they'll take it and they'll make it a part of their lives. It could become a part of the fabric of their very being. Music is that important to me, and it's probably that important to a lot of you guys, all right? Some of us, music saves lives. It literally does that. As cheesy as that sounds, it does. So I think this was something more for the fans. I really do. I don't think, because I know that Zakk Wylde was great friends with Dimebag Darrell. So I think this was something that they knew, like, what would be the ultimate gift that we could give to the fans? What if we put a version, whoever's left of Pantera together with 2 very specifically, strategically picked drummer and guitarist, Okay, this isn't the type of thing where we're going to do tryouts. All right, this is there's going to be some heart. There's going to be a relationship, a long friendship, maybe like family. So I think that's what this was. And guys, let me know what you think too. Do you think it's disrespectful to have this Pantera reunion? After I thought about it a little while, and I think the big thing was when you watch that video of the fans and their reaction to this band. You know what? Hold on. I'm gonna show it to you by video. Okay, this is why it was a good thing. Okay, hold on. Okay, hold on just a second. Hold on just a second. You see that, guys? That's what I'm talking about. I mean, look at that. Look at that crowd, and just look at how happy they are. You know, this is over 20 years in the making. Over 20 years that the last time we saw Pantera live. So this was just it was almost like a revival. It's like a way to honor the past. And this is something that's not going to last forever. You know, who knows how long this tour will last? But it was a beautiful thing when you watch the fans and how happy they are. You know, so I honestly have zero problem with this reunion. You know, I think it's sad that Vinny's and Dimebag are gone, but if you're doing it for the right reasons, which is to honor them and to give it to the fans, those two things, box checked. You know, that's what you're doing here. Okay, so that's why I think it's a beautiful thing to have at least a version of Pantera back. You know, so that's my thoughts on the Pantera thing. All right, but yeah, Jason, the phone thing. You know what? I was thinking that too, Jason. And that's not just with the Pantera thing, but you know, I've been to a lot of concerts. Unless I'm putting together a vlog for the channel, because I've done that before, I don't turn my phone on and record. There's really just because you're taking away from the experience. And when are you ever going to look at that footage again? You're probably not. You maybe once, but there's nothing can beat that experience of being right there in front of the band and no phone out and just enjoying the hell out of it. You know, a couple bands I can talk about as far as phones go are Tool. They don't allow phones in there. They will literally take your phone away from you if they see it. And what Maynard does. And by the way, I'm for that. I'm so free. If it's an emergency, yeah, you gotta check on your kid. You gotta do. Yeah, I get that. But I love that Tool did that. Said, no, keep your damn phone in your pocket during the show, okay? You can do all that shit after the show. That's fine. And the one caveat is what he does is on the very last song, Maynard tells the audience, okay, guys, thank you for not pulling out your phone and letting everybody just enjoy this experience. So if you want, for this last song, pull out your phone, record all you want. That's what he does. And I think I don't think any other band does that. And I think it's really cool. There was another band I was going to mention. Shit, I can't remember. I remember Tool, though. There was another thing I was going to talk about with phones, but yeah, I'll just never understand it. You really, and I think a lot of times you're in that moment and you feel like I need to do this. I need to get this footage, And I think a lot of times more than not, you regret it when you're back at home. You're like, why did I even record this? It's a nice little memory, but the memory up here is much better than the memory in here in my phone. Just being there in front of that band, it's awesome. The other band I was going to bring up, and this was the Disturbed, David Draymond. He, in the middle of a song, he stops the song and he points out this girl that's up in the balcony. You can find this on YouTube. And he says, are we doing a bad job? I'm paraphrasing or something like that. But he's like, do you have to be looking at your phone through the entire fucking show? Was he rude for doing that? Maybe he was a little rude for doing that. I don't think you should go that far. That's a dick move. But I think that just shows how annoyed some artists are getting with cell phones. I mean, hell, Judas Priest, freaking Rob Halford kicked a phone out of a fan's hand. That's going too far too. There's nothing saying you can't. Like, I've been to festivals, and there's nothing saying you can't put your phone up in a show. Don't get mad at the fans. Get mad at the establishment, So that's going too far, I think. But I can say back in the day when I went and seen Metallica and Guns N' Roses together back in 1992, Denver, Colorado, Mile High Stadium, there wasn't a cell phone in sight, and it was freaking awesome. It was especially during Metallica. Okay. How you doing, Levi? Love you, buddy. Okay. All right, you guys ready for Scream news? Scream news. Here we go. Hold on. Let me get this ready. And I'm going to read through this story, but I also have 5 talking points, okay? 5 talking points that I want to discuss for Scream 6. All right? Is the official title still Scream ! Somebody help me out with that. All right. Okay. Guys, we are literally 3 months away from the new Scream movie. Now, guys, help me out here. Isn't there a trailer coming within the really soon for this movie? Because I thought I saw something on the interwebs that there was a new trailer coming really soon. So, I'm really excited for the new Scream movie. I am, and I got some reasons why, and I will discuss that in my talking points. Okay. Let's see. Scream 5 was incredibly brutal. It shocked me, Taffer. It didn't really shock me, and I tell you what didn't shock me was the reveal at the end. Probably the most predictable final act of the franchise. Now, guys, that doesn't necessarily mean that a movie is ruined or is bad if I predict the killer at the end of the movie. Like, say the movie starts and 20 minutes in, I'm like, I think that's the killer right there. And that happens to be the killer. If the movie was great all the way through, no harm, no foul. That doesn't bother me. Okay, it doesn't bother me if I can predict the killer. That's not the worst thing. What's bad is for me is when the killer, like, please don't let that be the killer. Okay, because that would be way too freaking obvious. And that's what. And guys, spoilers for Scream 5 if you haven't seen Scream 5. But my personal opinion. As soon as Jack Quaid walked onto the screen, as soon as Jack Quaid walked onto the screen, I said, he's going to be the killer. I said that. I literally said that to myself. He's going to be the killer. And there's a few reasons. Why? Jack Quaid is the big hot thing right now. You know? He's in The Boys. So it would be really cool if he's the killer. 2, Jack Quaid is a very, very charismatic actor. Okay? And to be able, like Destiny said, he makes your heart swoon. Okay? So you're going to need an actor, because if you're going to be the killer at the end of the movie, you know, think like Matthew Lillard. That is a fucking great actor. And you have to be a great actor to be able to pull off, you know, because once it's revealed, okay, now cat's out of the bag. Now what do? Give me some good acting, okay? And Emma Roberts as Jill was matter of fact, I got Scream 4. I'm at the reveal right now in Scream 4. I literally had it playing in the background. That's why I love my TV, guys. It's right up there. It's great. But yeah. Oh yeah, they're taking Jill to the hospital now. She thinks she got away with it. Okay. But yeah, so that's why I said that. I was like, I guarantee you they're going to make Jack Quaid the killer. And at this point, because I know nothing about the story, I don't really want that. And so it made it that much more predictable. But that's just part of the problem of the movie. That wasn't even the worst part of the movie for me. Guys, I don't hate Scream 5, okay? I give it a solid 3 out of 5, all right? Just a middle of the road. Is it the worst Scream movie for me? Probably. It probably is the worst Scream movie for me, okay? I think there's things about Scream 5 that are better than Scream 3, okay? And vice versa. But I think, you know, once the dust has settled, I think Scream 5 is the worst. Because Scream 3 has a fantastic final act. And it has, spoiler alert, 1 killer. Okay? I like that they did that. You know, because every other Scream movie, spoiler alert, 2 killers. Guys, tell me this. Are you tired of the 2 killer thing? Or are you okay with it, or do you even care? Do you just want a good movie? I don't care. I don't care what the reveal is, but I just want a good movie, okay? Or are you like, I need them to stop with the 2 killer thing. Give me something different. Where are you at with that scenario? I need to know, guys. All right, everybody pay attention now, damn it, okay? Scream 3 is better than 2, 4, and 4. It's not better than 2, and it's definitely not better than both 4s, okay, Destiny? I see what you're doing. I'm watching 4 right now, and you know what it's telling me? That it's better than Scream 3, all right? Damn it. I'm having a blast with you guys. Jesus. 3 killers and 1 lives. Here's what I think. Wouldn't it be cool if at the end of Scream 6, they don't tell you who the killer is? The killer gets away. How cool would that be? Would that piss you off? You can be honest. If that would, like, do you need to know who the killer is? Or do you want to be left wanting more? You know? As long as they kind of set the pieces up appropriately, I would be for that. I think that would be kind of cool, actually. Okay. All right. I could spitball about Scream all day, okay? You know what? It's one of those franchises that maybe I'm expecting a lot from the movie, because of the scenario with, you know, I love whodunits, and I love really good, thought-provoking whodunits, and the potential is so there with Scream. And the thing about Scream, Destiny just kind of reminded me of this, is my mind can change on Scream movies constantly. You know, there was a time when Scream 2 was like almost in my last place. And now Scream 2 is my number 2 of the franchise. That's what the franchise does with me. Thank you, Beth, for dropping by. Always great to have Beth here. And I wish you could stay longer. But, you know, I get it. You got to go. But it's always nice. Everybody say bye, Beth, okay? Have a great night. All right. So now let's read this story. Okay? Hold on. I've jabberjawed long enough, and now I'm going to do some more jabberjawing. Okay, hold on. Scream 6 isn't just gory, it's 100 times gorier than any Scream movie. The directors were always asking for more blood. Okay. I wanted to start talking, but I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait until my talking points because I do address that in my talking points. Okay. Ghostface is back, and blood is going to flow. Lots of blood. Scream 6 cast member Melissa Barrera recently told Collider that the upcoming sequel has the potential to be 100 times gorier than any previous entry. 100 times gorier. In the long-running horror franchise. According to the actor, directors Bettinelli Open and Gillette were always asking to increase the amount of blood on set. I always think of Mustafa Akkad when I hear that. More blood, more blood. There was a saying on set because the directors were always asking for more blood and more sweat. They always just wanted more. More blood spritz was the saying because they would just always want more. Is she going to keep saying that over and over? I'm being a dick. I'm sorry, Melissa. Okay. With the last Scream, they were tiptoeing and trying to be very respectful of what the franchise had been up until that point. And keeping their inner gory dreams at bay, Barrera added. But with this one, they were like, we're going all out. It's potentially 100 times gorier. Barrera made her Scream debut, blah, blah. Okay, we don't need to read any more of that. Okay. Ghostface gets a lot more intimidating, Ortega said of the Scream 6 script earlier this year. I just read... God, by the way, guys, Jenna Ortega, right? Blowing up the fucking planet right now. Jesus. Just read part of the script, and it just gets more and more gory. By the way, Jenna Ortega... What did she say? Hold on. Recently, she said there was something that was her favorite. Damn it! It'll come to me in a minute. Okay. I think that this is probably the more aggressive and violent version of Ghostface we've ever seen, which I think will really be fun to shoot. It's like 20 times more mortal. Yeah, they say, I'm not going to waste your time. They say the same thing over and over again. It's going to drive me crazy. What was it that hold on, guys. Let me think for a sec. Let me think. Jesus. What did Jenna Ortega say? It really caught me off guard. I was like, whoa, that's cool. She said there was something that was her favorite. Hold on. Let me take a drink. Damn it. I can't think of it. It's going to drive me. You guys ever do that? Like, you think it's not, and then you lose it, and then you're just like, oh my God, it's going to drive me freaking crazy. Damn it. Okay. I'm going to attempt to press on, but Jenna Ortega's right here. So just know that, okay? As I'm talking, I'm trying to freaking decipher what she said. Something was her favorite, and I can't think of what it was. Do you think Jenna's fame will change her fate in 6? That is a really, really, really good question. She is such a big star right now. Yes, we are getting old, Jason. She is a massive star right now with Wednesday. No, not Prom Night. Definitely not Prom Night. She definitely didn't say the Prom Night remake was her favorite. Yeah, Jenna Ortega is massive right now, and she's so massive that could that force them to change the script? I don't think so. I think they'll stick to the script at hand. By the way, she was already big when the first movie came out. Okay, so maybe she was big enough, and people love that character so much that, like, guys, tell me this: do you prefer Tara over Sam? Because I do, and it was very unique to have Tara be the opening quote unquote kill, and she lived. So. Right now, we don't know who the final girl truly is. Is it Sam or is it Tara? It could be either both, okay? Oh, Mia Goth is amazing. Like, those are the two big ones right now, is Mia Goth and Jenna Ortega. So, to answer your question, Omni, I don't think they're going to change the script this late in the game. I really don't, you know? But it is going to drive me crazy what she said was her favorite. I'll tell you that. I can tell you that much right now. Okay. Let me go over to my 5 talking points here. Hold on. I have notes, and I did my homework for you guys. Look at that, guys. I got notes for you and everything. How you like that, huh? We got notes. That means I'm probably going to clip this out. Okay. What do you think? At my unbox, my last drum box, I opened this. There was a company that sent this to me. I can't remember the name of them. Something video. Tapeworm video. Tapeworm video. I can remember that. I can remember that for sure. Tapeworm video. Yeah. Yeah, fuck off way. That was awesome, though. That was awesome. Jesus. What did she say? Damn it. Okay. Sorry, buddy. Guys, I'll sit here all day until it comes to me. Okay. No, I won't. I'm just kidding. I gotta give my audience what they want. Okay, here we go. Let me take a drink. What did she like? Let me. I like having something playing in the background. Hold on. Let me get this going. Hold on. So we were playing Scream 4. Now what can? It took me forever to figure out how to get to Netflix's horror section. And all you got to do is go down to categories. So, horror. There we go. And scary stories to tell in the dark. I'll play that. There we go. I'll play that. Is The Conjuring 2 a Christmas movie? We'll get to that. Okay, hold on. Okay. All right. First talking point for Scream. Double exclamation point. Does gory matter? And guys, I need you to pay attention, okay? This is where you guys come in. I need your feedback on this, all right? Does gory matter? Now the gloves can come off. The directors, Bertinelli and Gillette. Did I say that right? Bertinelli? Valerie Bertinelli? Oh, well. They were talking about now that they can kind of take the gloves off because the first movie was, this was the first Scream movie since 2011, and it's the first Scream movie not directed by Wes Craven, so they had to kind of stick to a certain playbook. They didn't want to veer too far outside of, what the franchise is best known for and loved. But like what Rob Zombie did in Rob Zombie's Halloween 2, it's kind of a passing of the torch. So now they can have carte blanche. And I guess their version of carte blanche is, and this does concern me a little bit too. The biggest thing that we can say about this movie at this point is that it's gorier than ever. It's bloodier than ever. I think I would rather them say, this story is going to blow your fucking balls off. Okay? We're going to give you a story that you're never going to see coming. I would much prefer that than this is the goriest Scream movie. I mean, because Scream movies have plenty of blood. I think there's an ample amount of blood in Scream movies. The first movie is bathed in blood, especially in the final act. There's a lot of stabbing going on and blood-soaked T-shirts, and the actors have blood all over them. How much blood do you really need in a Scream movie? Okay, it's not. Guys, give me like the blood. What's the bloodiest movie that you can think of? Like, it's not Terrifier 2. Thank you, Brandon. It's not Terrifier 2. Okay, you don't need to be Terrifier 2. All right. Michael Joe doesn't like Rob Zombie's Halloween 2, and that's fine. That's absolutely fine. But the point I'm making is that Rob Zombie said, okay, now I have carte blanche. I can make a movie that's going to completely divide the fans and make them hate my fucking guts. And then the other half will love me to death. And I happen to be on the other half. Okay? Dead Alive. Yeah, Dead Alive is considered one. Evil Dead. Yeah, does it need to be Evil Dead 2013? I don't think so. Just give me a good story. That's what Scream's known for. It's a whodunit, and I want you to throw me all these freaking, lefts and rights and turns, and just keep me on my toes. That's what I want. That's what the first movie did. The first movie constantly kept me on my toes. Kept me on. I don't care about blood. All right, so that might be a little negative, a potential negative. Okay, a potential negative. Yeah, it's not a freaking J-horror movie. Okay. Number 2, can Scream surprise us at this point? The first movie is so groundbreaking in terms of delivering an extremely effective whodunit, final act, reveal, that it almost shot itself in the foot. Because the first movie is the one where you thought there was one killer. You never in your mind, or at least in my mind, did I think there's going to be 2 killers in this movie. And sure enough, when they come out and, at first it's Billy. And you're like, oh, they tricked us, because at first you didn't think it was Billy because his shirt, he was using the corn syrup. But then, boom, he's the killer. And then, boom, here comes Stu. And you're like, holy shit. What else is going to happen? So after that, it was. Are we back? Are we back? I think we're back. Hold on. Let me see. All right. Let me know if you guys can hear me. I think we're back. Test 1 2. Test 1 2. Testes. We're back. I think we're back. Richard Strain says we're back. My internet dropped. Okay. Jesus. Luckily, I didn't have to restart a new stream. Okay. So let me close this. There we go. All right. Taffer says he's still seeing the circle. Is it live or is it Memorex? We are back now, Taffer. Okay, cool. So now we can continue the Scream, my Scream topics. Okay. So yeah, I was talking about, can Scream surprise me at this point? And I guess that ties into what I was stating earlier about, I don't need more gore. I just want you to give me a good story and keep me on my toes. And wouldn't it be great if that final act really blows my balls off? Okay. And I asked you guys this earlier too. Would you mind them not revealing who the killer is and maybe setting it up for the next movie? Is that something that would bother you, or do you have to know who the killer is? I mean, of course, I think we want to know who the killer is, but I think more than I want a surprise. That's the biggest thing. I want a surprise. Okay. I don't care about more blood. All right. I like blood. Don't get me wrong. I like nice bloody kills, but I don't need it. I don't have to have more of it. Brooke says, I think that would be great. Okay. So yeah. All right. So the next one, and guys, help me out here. Okay. Because it depends on the week, whether if Sydney is in the movie or not. And by the way, I just went too far. Hold on. Let me go back. Hold on. Number three, Hayden Kirby is coming back, and this is big. Now, I think there might be a chance of two things, okay? Two things. Either or. I think Kirby could be the opening of the movie. That doesn't necessarily mean she's going to die, but I think Kirby's going to be the opening of the movie, introducing her back into the franchise in some way. Now, stay with me here. What if Kirby's not the opening girl that's killed? That could be somebody else. And what if Kirby ends up saving the person at the end of the opening act? What if that's a big surprise that, you're with this character, kind of like you were with Tara at the beginning of the first one. and And, you're going through this whole thing, and there's a big, ruckus, a big fight with Ghostface. And then here comes freaking Kirby, swoops in to save the day. And it just completely blows people off their, knocks them off their feet. Like, what? Holy shit, Kirby's back. Wouldn't that be like the greatest, reintroduction of the character? I think, Amanda, how are you doing? I think it's going to be a big deal for Kirby coming back. And I think they're going to reveal that in a big way. I don't think it's going to be just, oh, there's Kirby. She's just going to walk into frame. No, I don't. I think Kirby is going to have a big entrance in this movie. And wouldn't that be awesome if she saves or possibly doesn't save, but at least she tries to save the person that's getting killed in the opening of the movie? That would really get people, in the mood, I think that could be really cool. Or she's the killer. Kirby could be the killer. And there's a couple reasons for that. Okay? I'm taking you further down the inception, the levels, okay? There's a reason for that. Kirby was the horror fanatic in part 4. She was so invested in that world. She knew the stab movies back and front. She was us, pretty much, and she knew her deep cuts. She could bring up like I Spit on Your Grave and Last House on the Left and all those deep cuts. She really knew her shit. She knew Giallo. She knew all this stuff. So what if she is so invested in this world that she becomes kind of obsessed with the notion of becoming a killer? I'm not saying I want that, but boy, would it make it interesting. Boy, would it make it interesting. Okay? Matter of fact, I might call this clip, "Is Kirby the Killer in Scream 6? That way you will click on the video. Okay? I guarantee you'll click on the video if I put that. Okay? What do I put? What did Jenna Ortega say? Okay? So that's I'm really excited, and this might be the number one thing I'm most excited about is Kirby coming back. Okay? Really excited about that. All right, next one. Sydney. Now, depending on the week, Sydney's either in or she's out. Okay? And I think at this point, is she out, guys? I don't know. Let me know. I think she's out. Or are they saving her for a big surprise, Kind of like what they did with The Babysitter 2 with Samara Weaving. And by the way, Samara Weaving's in this movie. I didn't even mention that, but what if they're saving Sydney for a surprise? Because you know what, guys? Hollywood, Mia, what's up? How are you doing? Hollywood does that stuff. Hollywood loves surprises. They love surprising the audience. So nothing is off the table. And this is Scream. This is the franchise that's known for its surprises. So what if this whole thing with Neve Campbell is a charade? What if this is all part of the plan, as the Joker would say? Aaron Click says she's out. I don't see this as a bluff. Charlotte says I'm going to miss Neve Campbell, though she did look bored in Scream. Thank you, Charlotte. You just brought up my next point about Sydney. If you're going to bring her back and do what you did with her in Scream 5, what's the point? And maybe that's another reason why I didn't care for Scream 5 that much, is because Sidney Prescott, she kind of bumped into people. She didn't really do much in the movie. Okay? So, and guys, I love Sidney Prescott. She is. We've already, spoiler alert, we've already killed off Dewey. Okay? Don't know what the fuck we're doing with Gale, if I'm being honest. Do you want Gale to survive in the... I even posted this on Twitter a while back. I was like, you know what? Wouldn't it be cool if Gale rolls her sleeves up and completely slays and kicks ass in this movie? I would be for that. You know what? I will give a character a fighting chance in every movie. If I hated a character, give you an example. If I hated Tina from Halloween 5, if Tina came back in Halloween 6, I would give her a fair shake. What if Tina completely slays and kicks ass? That would be awesome. Karen I did not like Karen at all in Halloween 2018. She came back. She ended up being one of my favorite characters in Halloween Kills. So I give Gail a shot every time, and she's hit and miss for me. But it would be amazing if Gail comes back in this movie and just, completely slays. It would be awesome. I wouldn't be mad if she didn't die. Just don't let her be in the way. I just, if you're going to put these legacy characters in these movies, make them count. That's all I ask. Otherwise, get them out of here. Let's move forward, because Scream 6 is going to make a lot of money. I have a feeling. I think they have it primed to release at a perfect time. And as long as it's halfway decent, this movie's going to make a lot of money. And that means this franchise, it's going to keep going. And so they need to pass the torch, I don't know. Just give me a good. I look at every movie with a clean slate every time I watch it. I don't care which characters are in there. Just give me a good movie. At the end of the day, that's all I want. I want a good movie. Hey, Holly, how are you doing? Will Sam and Tara carry on? I mentioned this earlier. We still don't even know which one is the main final girl. I don't know. But I have a feeling. I got a feeling that at least one, if not both, those characters are going to live in this movie. Okay? And they're going to go forward. I have a strong feeling. And I like both those characters. They were two of my strong points for Scream 5, if I'm being honest. Okay? Okay, last point that I wanted to make was New York City could be a game changer. Does it excite you that we're moving out of Woodsboro, guys? And I guess it depends on the franchise. Like, you could take Friday out of Crystal Lake, and I'm fine with it. Like Jason Takes Manhattan has grown on me, even though it's only like in New York, like a little bit, like just a little bit. But I would prefer Crystal Lake just because what we love Friday for is that it's a camp slasher. But we've had so many of those movies. Eventually, it's let's move forward. Let's move out and maybe try to find some different stories. So we've been in Woodsboro for 5 movies now. I'm not against them going to New York. I think it could be kind of cool, actually. One thing that the actress that plays Sam, she mentioned about New York was that the mindset of the people that live in New York, they don't really, they're very apathetic. They don't really care too much about what's going on. So if you're in danger, they're going to turn a blind eye. And that's kind of what they're dealing with here in New York. Plus, it opens up the playing field big time. Woodsboro's kind of a small town. We're talking New York City. So it's a bigger playing field, a lot of opportunities. So I'm kind of cool with it, actually. Jason, what's up, brother? Says, after reading the recent comments on this film, I fear that they're calling... Oh, I think Jason's saying what I was just saying. Hold on. After reading the recent comments on this film, I fear they are calling blood gore. It isn't. Just blood is not gore. And yes, gore always makes horror better. Yeah, and Jason, I talked about that earlier in this. To me, if the biggest thing to hoot and holler about is more blood, more gore, I'm a little nervous because this is Scream. It's very story-centered. I want them to say, we got a great story here. That's really going to throw you for a loop. That's what I want. And you're right. There's a difference between bloody and gory. Okay? Although I think you do see a little bit of gore in, like when they're like pulling intestines out. Like, remember in the first Scream movie when I think it was Steve, Casey's boyfriend, when she turned on the lights to that back patio and we saw like intestines pouring out of his belly. That was pretty gory. If I'm being honest. So, yeah, New York City could be a game changer for sure. Okay. Jesse doesn't need cocks. All right. So, okay, guys. We finished the Scream talk. It's, holy shit, it's an hour and a half in. It's time to do 10 movies. 10 movies. All right, hold on. Let me get over here. I'm going to have to come up with like an intro. We're probably not going to get to funnies tonight, guys. Okay, I'll just compile them for the next time. Okay, what's up, Dave? Dave Vanderhoff, how you doing, brother? Yes, because Hitchcock is the authority on gore since he used so much. I could smell the sarcasm. Okay, topical slides. Yeah, here we go. 10 movies, Christmas horror. Gonna run down these. Oh shit! Hold on. Let me fix my chat. God, man, hold on. Let me fix this. Let me fix my chat. Pop out chat. There we go. Back over here. Over here. Chat. This is gonna be fun, guys. This is gonna be fun. And one thing I realized. Hold on. Let me fix this first. It's not working. Damn it. I hate that. Maybe if let me close this and reopen it. Hold on, guys. Okay, testes. Can you hear me? I think I'm good now. I think I fixed my chat. I had to close the program and then reopen it. Let me know if you guys can hear me, and then we're going to continue with 10 movies, Christmas horror. Okay? Syntax error. That's it. Will you sing a Christmas song to set the mood, please? Let me see. Hold on. What can I sing? Hold on. Chestnuts roasting on an open fire. Jack Frost nipping at your toes? What does he say? I can never... I'll have a blue Christmas without you. That's my favorite Christmas. Hey, guys, what's your favorite Christmas song? Okay? I'll be so blue just thinking about you. I love that song. That's such a good song. Okay. All right. So, top 10 Christmas movies. Let me get back over here. Yeah, there we go. Now I can see your pretty faces. Booger Sugar. Flying Up. I love it. I love it. I love it. Christmas horror. Now, setting this up, beginning of the stream, I mentioned Die Hard. I don't consider it a Christmas horror movie, and I contradict myself in this list. I have to live with that. That's okay. Okay. But, you know, everybody loves Die Hard. So you're not missing too much on this list, all right? But one thing I did realize, and I did watch a couple movies and rewatch one movie just to level the playing field a little bit. It surprised me that there's quite a few movies that I had to leave off the list. And I thought I'd have a tough time coming up with 10 Christmas horror movies. But somehow I did it. And then some, you know? So... as a matter of fact, let me tell you the honorable mentions that... Okay, here's the honorable mentions. I'm just going to say these, rattle them off, okay? Okay, and then we're going to get into the slides, and I'll show you the actual movies, the countdown, okay? But honorable mentions, Christmas Evil. I watched Christmas Evil today for the first time. I will never get that 2 hours back. It was boring as fuck. Okay, Rare Exports, haven't seen it yet. I put it on this, and I meant to watch it. I didn't get the chance to watch it yet, so... could be great, but I don't want to put it on the list if I haven't seen it. Another one I haven't seen yet, I'm going to watch, is Anna and the Apocalypse. I've been meaning to check that one out. Retaliators, and I just saw a list. I've never heard of that. Inside, I haven't seen Inside. That's like the freaking Spanish or French movie. I didn't know that takes place on Christmas. Holy crap. Puka on Hulu, and I Trapped the Devil. These are movies that I didn't get a chance to see or they just didn't make the list, okay? There's a couple others that I mentioned within the list briefly, and you'll know why once we get there, okay? Because I do kind of want to mention them, okay? I do need to watch Inside, Mia. I'm excited for this. We're going to do some Christmas horror movies together. All right, this is fun. I've been waiting to do this, all right? Oh, yeah, more. The Conjuring 2. Didn't realize The Conjuring 2 was a Christmas movie. It did not make the list, all right? I can't mention that one because I do mention it along the way. You'll see what I'm talking about. The Lodge. I didn't know The Lodge was on Christmas. That's interesting. And Edward Scissorhands. I love Edward Scissorhands to death, and it's a shame that it didn't make the list. Another one, and this is one that you're going to really get pissed off at. It should have made the list, but it didn't. Nightmare Before Christmas. Oh my God, I owe you guys an apology. I can't believe Nightmare. But that should tell you how good these movies are. Okay, Nightmare. But the thing is, I've never been a massive Nightmare Before Christmas fan. It's okay. I like it for what it is. But yeah, all right. Okay, here we go. God, I'm excited. Here we go. I'll have a blue Christmas without you. All right, here we go. Number 10. Top 10 Christmas horror movies, all right? And by the way, guys, I did a top 5, I think, in my first year of YouTube, okay? And I've seen a lot more Christmas movies since then, all right? So anyway, number 10 is Better Watch Out. Somebody mentioned this one earlier today. I just gave this one another watch about a week ago. Very, very solid Christmas horror movie about this babysitting excursion. She's going to babysit this kid, and there is a killer running around the house. Do I want to make these spoilers? Is it okay if I spoil? Guys, can I put spoilers in here? Can I just at least give you a spoiler warning? You know, I could do that, all right? Because there's a spoiler in this movie that I definitely want to mention because it makes the movie so good. So, if you haven't seen Better Watch Out, spoiler warning, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay? And Amanda, I'm going to tell you why it's not a perfect movie, all right? But, you know, and I think you predict this early on, that it's the kid that she's babysitting is the one that's the killer. He's just an evil little bastard. The best scene in the movie is the paint bucket scene. Kind of like Home Alone. He wants to see if he can pull off one of these Home Alone gags. And he tests it out on, I think, her boyfriend that shows up. And that's a pretty good scene. And it's really bloody. Even though they don't show it hitting the guy's face, but you can feel it when it happens. So it's a really good scene. Now, like Amanda was saying, the one thing that I don't like about this movie is she's tied up in this chair for way too long in the movie. I think they should have that should have been less. Okay, she's just tied up way too freaking long in the movie, and I was like, God, is she ever gonna get out? You know, it was just kind of like, it wasn't perfect, but it's still a fun Christmas movie. You know, there's a lot of little tricks in there, little fun antidotes, and I dug it. I dug Better Watch Out. That is my number 10. Okay. All right. And guys, let me know what you guys think of this. Oh, by the way, guys, what is your favorite Christmas horror movie? I am so rude. I forgot to ask you guys. What is your favorite Christmas horror movie? Give me your top 3 if you can, okay? And I want to read off some of your top 3, all right? Give me your top 3 Christmas horror movies, all right? And I'm looking forward to sharing mine with you because I love you and I want to take this relationship to the next level. Okay. Okay, The Children. I don't think I've ever even heard that one. Inside is the most brutal horror film I have ever seen. Gut-wrenching stuff, but it's a masterpiece. Home Alone. Erica, that is not a Christmas horror movie. Okay. Destiny says Black Christmas, Better Watch Out, and P2. Those are really good, really good. Jack Frost is hilarious. My favorite Christmas horror movie is the original Silent Night, Deadly Night. Richard Strange. Great. Charlotte says Silent Night, Deadly Night, Christmas, Bloody Christmas, and Black Christmas 1974. That's a damn good list. Rosemary says, Gremlins. I haven't seen enough Christmas horror movies. Well, Rosemary, it's a good thing you're watching. Pay attention. I got 10 really good ones for you. Brooke says, Gremlins, Black Christmas, Silent Night, Deadly Night. Chester says, I got 2 Christmas horror movies, Black Christmas and Krampus. 1980s To All a Good Night, directed by David Hess. Is that from Last House on the Left? David Hess? Is that right? Yeah, maybe. Okay. David Thorson says Silent Night, Deadly Night, Black Christmas, Gremlins. Brandon says Home Alone, Krampus, and Santa Sleigh. Guys, Home Alone is not a Christmas horror movie. All right? All right. I'm not mad at you, though. All right, next one. Number 9 is Christmas Horror Story. And I was literally watching this again while I was putting my slides together. And if you haven't seen this movie, definitely check it out. It's an anthology, much like Trick or Treat. You know, it just feels like that type of movie. And I happen to love, I think there's 3 stories in it, and they're all just so entertaining. So entertaining. Of course, the big one is what you see in that picture right there. Krampus. The character of Krampus I found so entertaining, much more entertaining than the actual character of Krampus in the movie Krampus. Absolutely loved it. But also you got like these freaking, like, what would you call them, guys? Like demon elves. You got an awesome Santa Claus that's like, you know, he's like, that Santa Claus could have been in Violent Night. He would have been great. And there's a big fight between him and Krampus at the end. But also you got this family, and I guess this kid is taken over by some entity or whatever. And like she finds out later in the movie that that's not her son. And there's a nasty kill involving him in the movie. So really good though. Amanda's mentioning The Mean One. A lot of people have mentioned that one to me recently. I need to check that one out. If you haven't seen the trailer for The Mean One, which is a horror parody of The Grinch, you need to watch it. I think I did see the trailer too recently. It does look good. Okay, so number 8. You ready? Number 8. Here we go. We were just talking about the character Krampus in A Christmas Horror Story. Number 8 is Krampus. And guys, I have a history with this movie, okay? I think Brandon was mentioning it earlier because he said that I don't like this movie. And he's right. I didn't like this movie. I watched it, I think, like 3 times. The first time I watched this movie was the worst theater experience of my entire life. And still to this day, it is the worst theater experience. Not because of the movie, but because of the young teenage girls that were like 10 seats down from me in the theater. I seriously I almost lost my shit. Like I could, you know, I've been to the theater a million times, and 99% of the time, it's a very pleasurable experience. You know, not always with the movie, but usually the people are good people. The occasional somebody holding their cell phone up, I don't ever have to say anything because usually the phone comes back down. But this, I don't know what was going on, but these teenage girls, they weren't there to watch the movie. All they wanted to do was cut up and see if they could get a reaction. Guys, it got so bad because I almost, actually, no, I did literally, because I was right there. I was like, excuse me, I'm trying to watch this movie. Can you please stop? They wouldn't stop. This woman in the in one of the front rows, she literally stood up, turned around, looked back at them, and she says, and I quote, and I'm paraphrasing a little bit, but pretty much, if you don't shut up, I'm going to make you shut up. That's literally what she said. She was pissed. And I was just, and then the entire theater went like this. Thank you very much. And I still to this day, I'll never forget. And it ruined Krampus for me. And I think every time I watch the movie after, I'm reminded of that experience, and it just kind of taints the movie a little bit for me. So I said, you know what? If I'm going to do a Christmas horror list, and everybody keeps saying how much they love this movie, I'm going to give it one more shot. And that's what I did. I watched it yesterday, guys. I was able to absorb the story and the overall meaning of the movie, and I ended up enjoying it so much more finally. being dead honest, if I didn't enjoy it, it wouldn't be on the list, okay? And you heard a lot of the movies that I didn't put on this list. It was so good this time, and it just really, and maybe it's because I was really in that Christmas mood, because this is one of those movies that has one foot in wholesome Christmas and the other foot in Christmas horror, you know? And I think when that's done correctly, it's like the best of both worlds, you know? And I ended up loving this movie this time around, and it so much so that I think it might even go further up the list down the line. I just like the message of the movie, you know, and the whole premise behind Krampus as a character is that when the world is just in the darkest of darkest places, and it feels like there's no good left in the world, Krampus comes in and he takes stock. And that's what happens in this movie. There's a character in this movie that you see in that picture there, Omi, the old lady. She was a child, and she had to deal with Krampus, and he ended up killing her whole family when she was a child. And so she knows what this evil is, and she's kind of the bearer of bad news to everybody. This is what's happening right now, and he's going to kill everybody. Okay, he's going to take what's his. And he's going to leave one of you to spread the word that, hey, this is what happens when the world gets too dark. And that's what happened. But yeah, I really enjoyed this movie this time. It was really nice. And it does have a nice surprise ending, which I won't spoil. So, yeah, Krampus, I'm glad I finally, I guess, got this movie. I enjoyed it this time. Okay. Next one. And guys, let's see. All these movies from Krampus on are top-notch movies, which surprises me because I didn't think there were that many great Christmas movies. But I'm and you're not gonna you're gonna be mad at me on this one. Some of you are. I know a lot of people don't like this movie, but I love the Black Christmas 2006 remake. And one thing I like about it is that it's not a repeat of the first movie. It's very different, all the way down to the way they handled Billy. When I first watched this movie, and I've watched it probably 100 times now, but one thing that did irk me about the movie was Agnes. But now I even love Agnes, you know, because this movie is just so freaking zany and wacky. And I just love this cast that's in this movie with Michelle Trachtenberg, Mary Elizabeth Winstead, Katie Cassidy. I can't remember the other girl's name. She was on Party of Five. But I think that's a big reason I love the movies, because I love the cast. As far as like set decoration, feeling very Christmassy, this movie does it probably the best out of this whole list. I love the cinematography in this movie. It is gorgeous, but it's not too pumped up to where it kind of takes away from the movie. It's just perfect. Perfect. Lacey Chabert. That's it, David. Thank you very much. I always have a blast with this movie. And by the way, guys, Gretchen Wieners. By the way, guys, the Blu-ray for this movie is not easy to find, okay? It's pretty expensive. And it's the Canadian version, I think. And I have it. I bought it I got it for a good price years and years and years ago. And I'm glad I did, because it's a pretty penny now, I think. But it's another movie that looks glorious in Blu-ray, you know? I'd love a 4K release, if I'm being honest. Okay, so next one. And I thought this movie would be higher, but I realized there's a lot of great Christmas horror movies. So here you go. Silent Night, Deadly Night, a classic in every sense of the word. I absolutely adore this movie. I like the whole backstory of it and how it was so controversial. By the way, guys, this movie beat out Nightmare on Elm Street. I believe they both came out on the same weekend, same time. And this movie was number one. But it was quickly removed from theaters because you have Santa Claus. I don't know if I can say this word without getting in trouble. He violates a mother on the street, you know, early in the movie. Okay. So it was pretty controversial back in the day. Now it's kind of tame, for today's standards. But one thing I love about this movie too is it's the killer's point of view. It's really the backstory of Billy. It doesn't really focus too much on the prey at all. It focuses on Billy. You see his backstory. And this is one of the few slashers that does that. So it's kind of fun. And you got one of the most iconic freaking kills I've ever seen with the antler kill with the great Linnea Quigley. One of my all-time favorite horror kills. He lifts her naked body up. Well, she's got jean shorts on. And he hangs her on the antlers. And, they show, because sometimes you can show the aftermath of a kill, but no, they literally show her body, like the antlers. I think this is in the unrated cut, by the way, guys. Her antlers coming out of her torso. You got to watch the unrated version, too. That's the only way to watch this movie. So good. Punish. And I wanted to put part 5 and the remake on this list, but they didn't make the list. But I definitely want to mention them here and part 2. This is a really good franchise for a lot of different reasons. Part 3 is horrible. And it's sad because it's got Bill Moseley in it, Chop Top. And they completely waste him. So 3's the worst movie. Doesn't belong on any countdown, but except for worst horror movies. But 2 is great just because of like the backstory of it and how it's pretty much the first 45 minutes are a repeat of the first movie. Like you don't really have to watch the first movie if you want to just get the story of it. You could jump right to part 2 and it would give you that. But yeah, like Destiny said, it's so bad it's good. Like, and you have the Garbage Day. I think his name's Ricky. That guy, the performance he gave in that movie was just legendary. And the story, the backstory, I can give you a little bit of the backstory for part 2, is they had 2 actors that were trying out for the part. And the actor that didn't get the job was the better actor. But it was more kind of straight on. The actor that got the job, his acting was so bad that it made the movie what it was. And it was good. And just the way he delivered, like the money lines, legendary, just legendary. Garbage Day. Oh my God. It's a movie that I can throw on at any time and just laugh at it and enjoy it. It's a festive Christmas movie, part 2. Sometimes I think I like part 2 more than the first movie. And that's cheating to say that because half the movie is part 1, but it's like you get the best parts of part 1 in part 2. And then you get a whole new movie for the second half of the movie. So, I don't know. I think I kind of prefer part 2, but part 1 has to go on the list, right? It's got to go on the list. The Toy Maker is just complete batshit insane, crazy. And I'm not going to talk too much about that one, but I just like that one scene where the toys start attacking this couple in the bed. And one of the toys goes, how do I put this? Up the guy's butt, okay? That's all I'm going to say. All right. It's great. I love part 5, The Toy Maker. All right. And the remake's good too. I like the remake. And it's a completely different story, but it works. But the remake is a whodunit. And guys, let me tell you, I've watched the remake probably 20 times now. If you asked me, okay, Lee, who's the killer in the remake? Who is the guy in the Santa suit? I still can't tell you to this day. I forget it every time. That's how unmemorable the reveal is in the remake. But the movie itself is fun, Okay. Oh, the sledding scene is hilarious, Aaron. Yes. Okay. All right, next one. Top 5, guys. Top 5. Number 5, Violent Night. And this is pretty much Die Hard. And that's why I said I'm kind of wrong for not including Die Hard and including Violent Night. But we'll do it just because Violent Night's new. And it's so good. Like, it's really, really good. What's up, Antonis? It's like I just said. It's Die Hard, but instead of John McClane, it's Santa Claus. And I almost think the way this movie got made was they were probably sitting around a table and saying, everybody always has this argument about whether Die Hard is a Christmas movie. So why don't we give them a Die Hard Christmas movie? Okay? And so that's pretty much what they do. They give you a die-hard Christmas movie, and there's no doubt that it's a Christmas movie. But the kills are great. The Home Alone segment of the movie had probably one of the biggest, loudest outbursts of a theater crowd that I have ever had. There's a scene, I won't spoil it if you haven't seen it, but there's a scene where the little girl, she's up in the attic, and she already has all these booby traps set up. And you got that attic ladder that goes down. And the killer, he wants to come up the ladder. And you already know, oh boy, they got something in store. And I'll just say that the Home Alone section is like the booby traps in Home Alone on steroids, okay? And one of the moments in that scene when he's going up those stairs, the audience, I mean, including myself, we just erupted. Like, oh my God, that was the greatest thing I've seen all year. So, yeah, Violent Night happily earns a place on this countdown. If you haven't seen it, I highly recommend it. It's so freaking fun. Also, Edie Patterson from the Righteous Gemstones. What a talent. She is so freaking funny. This movie, it's a comedy. It's definitely a comedy with some bloody moments in it, and David Harbour's excellent as Santa. So what more do you need? Okay. Top 4. Here we go, guys. Number 4. We're rolling through these. Okay. Number 4 is P2. Guys, anytime I get a chance to recommend P2 to anybody, I jump all over it. And it still surprises me that nobody outside of horror, I guess, talks about this movie at all. And you know what? Let alone the Christmas aspect of it, it's a fucking good movie. It's one of those movies that is in one location in this parking structure, and it's 2 characters, and one of them is a psycho, and he's like obsessed with this girl. And I think it's so good because it's so relatable. And a lot of women can probably relate to having a situation like this where there's a stalker and this guy that just will not leave you alone. Imagine if you work with the guy, you know? I think he's like a security guard or something like that. But it's Christmas Eve and she's trapped in this parking structure and he is completely making her life a living hell, you know? Rachel Nichols is excellent in this movie too. I was surprised that her career didn't go farther because she definitely has that final girl quality about her. Loved her in this movie. But yeah, fantastic movie. P2. And I guarantee there's a lot of you that still haven't seen this movie. I saw it in the chat. There's a few of you that said still haven't seen P2. I'm telling you, it's so good, guys. Watch it. Watch it tonight after this, okay? You will have a blast. It's another one that's hard to find. I don't even think there's a Blu-ray out for this movie. I have the DVD. I've had it for years. But yeah. Okay. Number three. What's it going to be, guys? We got 3 left. Number 3. Let me take a drink. Hold on. Currently streaming on Tubi. P2. Thank you, Destiny. Okay. Number 3. Here we go. Boom. Oh, man. I'm so happy. Christmas. Bloody Christmas. Guys. Oh, my God. I adored this movie so much. And I went into it not expecting much of anything at all. Okay. I wasn't very familiar with Joe Begos's work. And he had only done a couple movies before this, but I went in expecting something really like zany because of what the premise is. It's a robot Santa Claus. So I expected this to be very tongue-in-cheek, funny, comedic, with some bloody kills along the way. And to my surprise, it's none of those things. It's very serious, you know, much like the tone of the first Terminator. They didn't have to do that, but that's what they did. And it starts off with this really great banter between these 2 characters. And I knew that this was the aspect that was going to make it or break it for some people. I just knew that. And Brandon hated this movie because of these 2 characters. me and Brandon are on complete opposite ends of the spectrum because of this movie, and I get that. This type of dialogue, it's not for everybody. To me, it felt very Tarantino, if I'm being honest. If you've watched some Tarantino movies where there's just a long, lingering scene of dialogue, that's what this has. It's these two characters, and you're getting to know them in real time, and they're having this great banter with each other, talking about pop culture, talking about movies and music, and the chemistry is just permeating between. Like, you see the chemistry in real time between these two characters, and you're just eating it up and loving it. At least I was. But I knew that this is the type of movie that's not for everybody. A lot of people, they want, introduce me to the characters, give me the beats like A, B, and C, get me from A to B to C, and then let's move on to the Killer Santa, because a lot of people are going to go into a movie about a robot Santa, and that's what they're going to want. They're just going to want robot Santa. Just give me superficial characters, that's fine, and let's just get, because most of these movies on this list are just that. That's what they are. But this movie goes much deeper with the characters, and you spend a good portion with them before the action really ramps up. But to me, that actually benefits the movie, because when the action ramps up, it never lets up. I mean, it never lets up. And it gets four on the floor crazy. That shit crazy. And by this point, it's obvious how much of an homage this is to the first Terminator. And I don't think I've ever seen a movie so much like the first Terminator since the first Terminator. And man, I was just eating it up. And that young lady right there, I think her name's Tori. It's either Tori or Tony in the movie. Oh my gosh, she was fantastic. Like, if I'm putting out a new Final Girl list in the next year, she's definitely on it. She kicks so much ass in this movie, and this is my favorite type of Final Girl. I really don't want to say don't like, but I prefer a Final Girl to not be pretty much like the female Rambo. I like her to have to learn something along the way, but you can tell by her attitude in the first portion of the movie that she is a spitfire. You know, I even mentioned there's a lot of cursing between these two characters, but it felt natural, you know? And I knew that would throw some people off too. Some people, they just don't like a lot of cursing in movies, and I get that. And most of the time, I don't like it unless there's a purpose. But these two, it just felt like that's who these characters were, you know? That's why it worked for me. But man, I loved her in this. You know, you want her to survive, you know? And boy, she goes through hell. She goes through bloody hell in this movie. So yeah, Christmas, Bloody Christmas. I knew that this would be at least in my top 3, and yes, it landed right at my number 3. It's that good, okay? And in years to come, it might move up to number 2, okay? It'll never move up to number 1, because number 1 is just like one of my all-time favorite films ever. You probably know what it is. But anyway, let's go to number 2. Number 2, and this might surprise you. Gremlins, number 2. Gremlins is just such a great movie. And I think it's PG, or is it PG-13? I can't remember, because this is right around the time when PG-13 was just starting. But it's just a really good story. When it all comes down to it, I love Gremlins just because of how cute Gizmo is, the Mogwai, because it's really the opposite ends of the spectrum. And you know, and when the cute, cuddly little thing that you love so much turns into this like ultimate evil, and then you take that evil and you give it the opportunity to multiply, and like, I remember watching this and I was like, oh my god, just the gremlin alone is a nightmare. And so when they jump in that pool, that one scene where Stripe jumps in the pool and it just starts multiplying by 100, you can feel the danger. You know, it's there's some scary moments in this movie, and there's also some very heartfelt moments, you know, because of the great characters. Phoebe Cates, the scene where she's talking about her father dying because he was dressed up like Santa Claus and he broke his neck, and it's a really heartfelt scene. But yeah, Gremlins is just fantastic. And it definitely has that like Steven Spielberg vibe to it. Joe Dante directed the movie, but I think it's a Steven Spielberg production. I know he produced like this one and Poltergeist and a few movies back then. It just has that, you know, Steven Spielberg suburban type feel to it. And it's just great characters. And just the story, you know, the 3 rules. You know, you don't feed them after midnight. Never get them wet. And what was the other rule, guys? Guys, I always forget what the 3 rules. I know those 2. Those are like the 2 big ones. Feed them after midnight. Never get them wet. And what was Jenna Ortega talking about? I can't remember. Okay. Yeah. There was one other rule though. Okay. No light. Yeah. Don't put any light on them. That was it. Thank you, Jamie. I appreciate that. All right. And number 1 is going to be no surprise to anybody. Of course, it's Black Christmas. One of my all-time favorite films. I first heard about Black Christmas through Halloween. I saw the 25 Years of Terror documentary that came out in 2003. And watching the beginning of the documentary, and they're mentioning these movies, and then all of a sudden they mention Black Christmas. I literally paused the DVD that I was watching. Whoa, what was that? Because they showed a scene from Black Christmas, and they said Black Christmas was a big influence for Halloween. And so immediately I went and looked up this movie, because I'm like, nobody ever talks about this movie. This was this was 2003 when I first heard about it. Back in 2003, I didn't hear people talking about Black Christmas that much at all. Check 1, 2, check. All right, we are back. Okay, cool. Guys, I'm so sorry about this. I swear my internet, I didn't have my LAN cable hooked up. So, I don't even know if that would have helped, though, if I'm being honest. So, yeah. But you know what? You know, as a thank you for your patience, we'll do funnies after this, okay? Because I only have like 9 funnies. So, we'll do the funnies. And thank you, my mods, for sticking around and holding it together. I appreciate it. I love you guys so much. Okay, I didn't finish everything I was going to say about Black Christmas, though. So, what was I saying? So, yeah, I heard about it through Halloween. But really, what makes Black Christmas so great is I just like that 70s feel. It feels very like almost dirty and grindhouse a little bit. But yet it has the most beautiful Christmas lighting throughout. You got that kill right there with Claire, which is such an iconic kill that's been paid homage to quite a few times throughout the years. But when you get right down to it, and this is a very debatable statement, but I think Black Christmas set the template for the modern slasher today. I really do. You could go as far back as like Bay of Blood, from the 60s, late 60s. That kind of set the template for the camp slasher. But I think Black Christmas set the template for the, I guess what you would call the neighborhood slasher, kind of like Halloween. And it's still one of the best ever made, you know? I loved the characters in this movie, you know, with Margot Kidder. These were strong, intelligent women. And this is something that Bob Clark stated. He wanted characters that were college students, that were strong, that were resourceful. Not just one of them, but all of them. And they end up getting killed anyway, you know? Like when Margot Kidder, her character Barb, gets killed in the movie, you know, you feel for her. And this movie does take a while. Like there's a kill at the beginning of the movie. And there's this whole like investigation, and the whole time Billy's up in the attic. You know, this predates When a Stranger Calls. You know, the killer in the attic who's using the phone. Those phone calls are really, really creepy still to this day, saying some really obscene things to these women. Peeping Tom, thank you, Destiny. Yeah, like you could chart it back over and over and over again. But to me, I think there is definitely a case to be made for Black Christmas, you know, in terms of just the layout of the movie. You know, it really kind of made a template, even for Halloween. I mean, you can even compare the opening to this movie to the opening of Halloween. But, you know, I don't know if it was an accident that Bob Clark made such a great movie. And what I was saying earlier about the internet, I think the internet gave this movie a new life, you know. Quentin Tarantino himself had his own private reel of this movie in the 90s. You know, this was one of his favorite movies. So it's great that it eventually found its audience, but a movie that's this good was destined to find its audience anyway. It was going to happen just because of how amazing this movie is. Can you imagine if this movie got lost in time and nobody like ever found it? It's crazy. So it will be a miracle if any movie ever topped this movie for me in terms of greatest Christmas horror movie of all time. You know, it's just so good. It's a treasure is what this movie is. Kyle, I laughed at all the hidden spots for her booze. Yes. Yeah. What was she? The house sitter or housekeeper or something like that? She was hilarious in this too. You know, all the characters felt real too, you know, and I think that's one thing I love about that time period of horror movies is more times than not, the characters felt like real people next door to you. They didn't feel like supermodels, you know, which is what you get a lot these days. You know, everybody looks slick and, you know, they look like almost too pretty. And it just felt more real, more like a neighborhood. So, yeah, I love freaking Black Christmas 1974 so much. Canadian movie, and it's just a classic. Okay, so now, because I freaking lost you twice, I'm going to go ahead and give you the funnies, okay? You deserve it. You earned it. So let's do the funnies. And there's not that many of them tonight anyway. And you know what? I'll give you some music too while we're doing the funnies. All right, hold on. Go to my Drumdums Jams playlist on Spotify, guys. If you want to see what I'm listening to, type in Drumdums Jams on your Spotify, and you can follow my playlist. I add to it constantly. Let me see. And what can I pull up here? Hold on. Like, and I usually when I open these streams, I open it with music from this, like this song that I started you out with. And I did it because I was thinking of the Terminator. The name of this song is Humans Are Such Easy Prey by Perturbator.
It can't be bargained with. It can't be reasoned with. It doesn't feel pain or remorse or fear. And it absolutely will not stop. Ever.
Until you are dead.
You are dead.
Isn't this bad? Badass. Or we could go with this.
keeping in step in the line. Got your chin held high and you feel just fine, 'cause you do what you're told. But inside your heart it is black and it's hollow and it's cold. Just how deep do you believe? Will you bite the hand that feeds? Will you chew until it bleeds? Can you get up off your knees? Are you brave enough to see? Do you wanna change it?
All right, we're gonna do the funnies. I got some 9 Inch Nails playing in the background. Hopefully that doesn't get the stream taken down. Love 9 Inch Nails, great stuff. But yeah, let's do the funnies now. Yeah, I'll stop this. Hold on. There we go. Funnies. All right. Yeah, I saw a few of you. You saved my playlist. Yeah, Spotify, Drumdums Jams. All right, Drumdums Jams, and you can see everything I'm listening to. That list is jam packed full of. It's really my life. That's because there's so many different types of music, styles of music in that playlist. But yeah. So first funny. This is a devoted fan right here. He literally made a printout of his own face to try to psych out the opposing team's player. That's dedication. Okay, that's dedication. I love it. All right. Next one, I put together my snow stack. And these are, I even posted this on Killer Flicks, like your unlikely Christmas horror movies. And, you know, some of these are, this is like a combination of Christmas horror and also just movies like set in the snow, you know, like The Thing. That's The Thing prequel at the top. And then the Mondo Steelbook is the next thing. And then I got the Shout Factory thing. And I actually have the 4K that some neat sent me here. Yeah, that's the 4K of The Thing. The Thing is one of my all-time favorite movies. You should own every version of The Thing that has ever come out, okay? Because it's that good, all right? Black Christmas, Silent Night, Deadly Night 1 and 2. Another Black Christmas. I like the original release of Black Christmas. I think it's got a dirtier transfer, which fits the tone of the movie, I think, better. Yeah. American Psycho. That one is set during Christmas. Thank you, Destiny. Holy crap. How could I forget? American Psycho is a great freaking Christmas horror movie. Blah, 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 blah. Okay. The Lodge. I don't own. Now, this is just physical media that I own. I don't own Better Watch Out. I haven't bought the Blu-ray, so it's not going to be on this. But Krampus, that's down there. As a matter of fact, I have 2 copies of Krampus because Horror Pack, they've sent me a lot of, repeats of movies. And what I do is I make a stack of those. And when I do the Patron Live Hangout, which we're going to be doing another one of those soon, I usually will give out my duplicates. We'll do like a drawing or something like that. We'll have a little game. It's fun. Let Me In is a great remake. I don't hear people talking. You guys need to be talking about Let Me In more, okay? And Let the Right One In is like probably one of my favorite vampire movies, if not my favorite. So, Let Me In's a great freaking remake, and it's set in the snow. There's a lot of snow in there, okay? All right, next one. I showed you my new 32-inch TV. I'm looking at it right now. It's sitting up in the corner. I'm watching Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. Is that right? Yeah, I got Netflix pulled. I'll just watch something on Netflix. I need to get a Roku to put to the side of this TV so I can get Shudder on here, and then Shudder will be playing all the time. Okay, Halloween for Reals. This one's called Halloween for Reals. Okay. Yeah, Wrong Turn 6. I meant to put Wrong Turn 4 on there, but I accidentally put Wrong Turn 6, which, funny enough, Wrong Turn 6, the cover of the movie does look like somebody's laying in the snow, which is weird. Okay. Andy Red says, it was the boogeyman, and as a matter of fact, it was an escaped mental patient. Boogeyman? The fuck? Are you 12? Aaron says, Lee, have you heard that Shudder might be in trouble? Don't you dare tell me that. Don't you dare tell me that, Aaron. Oh, God, please don't take... Like, literally, Shudder is my favorite streaming service. I have a playlist that I have on there, and I'm constantly watching new stuff on Shudder. I love Shudder to death, so... I hope to God they're not... And they're putting out original content, too, so... Some people are being laid off. God, I hope they stay around. You know, if they need us to pitch in, we'll pitch in, right, guys? Shudder needs to stay around. I talked about this earlier. Ellen Ripley is in the movie Alien, 1979, was originally written to be a man. Director Ridley Scott changed his mind when he watched The Hunger Games and realized that women can also be action movie leads. And I'm sure there's like a million memes that went out after she made that freaking stupid comment. Oh my God. Okay. Next one's called Dumb and Dumber. Dumb and Dumb. I knew it. I'm going to get some hate. Get some hate on this one, okay? Want to hear the most annoying sound in the world? Open up. I always say if they just kind of toned it down a little bit, because you know we all love Tina. I've come around to Tina. I like Tina. I like what Tina is about. You know, she doesn't give a fuck. She's silly. Yeah, okay. It's great. But you know, some of the moments in there are a little bit too much. Just a little bit, okay? She didn't need to go that far, okay? She's fun and spunky. I can't take that away from her. Okay, all right. This next one's Neil. Christmas Neil. Okay, here you go. Oh my God. Now I wonder if he really posted that, you know, or somebody maybe photoshopped that. I don't know. But you know, Vince Neil, guys. Vince Neil was like, back in the 80s, Vince Neil was like the object of every woman's desire, you know, for Motley Crue. But, you know, I guess age is a bitch. And he looks like the Abominable Snowman on Rudolph now, you know. But back in the day, like, let me see if I can find a picture for you guys, okay? Back in the day, this is what Vince Neil looked like. Hold on. Yeah, here you go. Let me see. Can I pull that up? If I go... Yeah, there you go. That. Yeah, this was Vince Neil back in the day. News. Take that off. Bloody disgusting. We're getting there, guys. I'm sorry. Hold on. Yeah, here you go. Yeah, that was Vince Neil back in the day, back in the 80s, you know? All the chicks loved him. Good-looking guy. Did you know the song Dude Looks Like a Lady by Aerosmith? That song is about Vince Neil. Did you know that? It's literally about Vince Neil because he was so pretty back in the day that Steven Tyler wrote the song Dude Looks Like a Lady. Okay? Vince Neil. What are you talking about, Destiny? You're crazy. That's a good-looking man. Okay? Okay. All right. But, you know, age is a bitch. Age is a bitch. All right. One more. This one's called Bass Drop. And I don't know if you guys go on this site called 9gag. But that's an image I saw on 9gag. And I just... I literally was laughing for about 30 minutes straight. Like, every time I thought... now it's out of my system. But... remember, we had a bass drop meme last time, too. Okay? Oh man! All right, so Destiny prefers Steven Tyler over Vince Neil, a young Vince Neil. That's great. Okay, guys, and gals, who's hotter? Okay, we're talking '80s here. '80s Steven Tyler or '80s Vince Neil? Be honest with yourself, okay? Now, and I know now Steven Tyler's hotter now, but who was hotter back in the '80s? Was it Vince Neil or was it Steven Tyler? I need your answers, okay? Before we leave, I need to know what you think. All right. He's a wolf screaming only in the night. Now, he can't even get through a phrase in a song, you know. Now, Vince Neil, Tommy Lee. Tommy Lee's not an option, Jesse. I didn't say whose schlong is bigger. Okay, Claudia Schiffer. Yeah, Vince Neil does look like Claudia Schiffer. I'll agree with that. Got to go Tyler just because I'm from Boston. D. Snyder. This is getting out of hand. All right, guys? Come on. I need Neil or Tyler. That's all I should be seeing, okay? Hands D, Steven Tyler. Vince. He always sang like that. I've on it. Yeah, he did. I saw Motley Crue in '99 and he was singing like that. So, you know, if you listen to some of the interviews with the engineer from when they did the albums, the Motley Crue the Motley Crue albums back in the day, they were talking about how they had to. Vince Neil, he's not the best singer, especially studio wise. So they had to do quite a few takes, and they would have to cut all the different takes together. So they'd have to produce him pretty much. You know, he wasn't a one take type of guy. And so there's always been that thing like Vince Neil's a shitty singer. But I will counter and I will say this. Vince Neil is just as important as the other three members in Motley Crue. And let me know if you disagree with me on that. But I think his voice fits that band perfectly. And they've tried this. They had a falling out, and they fired Vince Neil, and they brought in John Corabi, who's got a Steven Tyler type of voice actually, which is kind of funny. But it just didn't work. It didn't work. Vince Neil, he was a part of that formula. It was a recipe, and it just worked with Motley Crue's music. It did. So I don't care how you had to put that performance together in the studio. What came out of that recipe was Motley Crue. He is Motley Crue. So, and I love Motley Crue up to probably, guys, by the way, I did a Motley Crue ranking on this very live stream quite a while back, and it was a lot of fun. It's the only music album ranking I've done, and I plan on doing more of those, but that was a fun one to do actually. So yeah, Crosby was good in the Scream. Yes he was. Great 2-hour stream. Thank you, Nathan. But yeah, that's it, guys. We did it. I gave you a little bit more. We did 2.5 hours. It was a lot of fun. We did my top 10 Christmas. I'm going to clip these out. I'm probably going to clip out like 3 or 4 videos out of this. Okay, guys? Just because I get so much more interaction with these clips, all right? And plus, it'll help because this stream was interrupted, twice? So, but you guys hung in there, and I appreciate it. I love you guys to death. So, anyway, guys, thank you so much for stopping by. I will definitely see you on the next stream. Maybe I'll stream next weekend. We'll see what happens, okay? If there's something to talk about. And by the way, guys, this 10 movies idea, we're going to be doing that, I think, on every stream, unless there's just too much news to cover. If there's not much news to cover like there wasn't tonight, then I'll definitely be doing 10 movies, and I'll probably be reaching out to you guys for ideas for future 10 movies segments in these streams. All right? A lot of fun hanging out with you guys tonight, though, okay? So take care of each other. I love you guys to death. You guys are the best. And Merry Christmas, guys, if I don't see you before Christmas.